All right, folks. Um, the Lord's shalom to all of y'all. And, let me say that the Lord's shalom is in abundance. It's already here. The problem is the acceptance of it is not in abundance. There's so much peace and love in the world, man. Y'all don't even know that the Lord's love and peace and truth is more abundant than I guess people can register. And I guess that's the problem, is that they don't register it. It's a choice, and people choose not to love the Lord for who he is, for who he says he is. But I'm wanting to share these thoughts with y'all because, I studied martial arts, for a lot of years. And during the course of my studies, have included things like exploring the infamous dim mak techniques, or poison touch, chin na, the season control techniques, exploring the interruption of meridian flows, blood flow, airflow, things like that. And, in my years of study, y'all, and pretty, full contact, applications, with my students, and yeah, I've taken my share of butt whippings from my classmates, that's for sure. And y'all, I have never seen the Lord's peace to Floyd's family. I don't think it goes without saying that something's not right about this whole situation. And I think to a lot of different people, something's not right in many different ways, from many different angles. From an angle that I'm looking at it, and angle being the operative word here, y'all, in my years of study, I don't think I've ever seen an angle where somebody's airflow is interrupted in the manner that Floyd's was interrupted. I say again, when somebody tells you that they can't breathe, you give them the benefit of the doubt. If we can only go without air. It's one of the things that we just can't go without for very long. Like water, you got some time. Food, you got some time. Air, not that much time. So when somebody tells you that they can't breathe, it's better to err on the side of caution. It's one of those things that takes a priority. And so in looking at the application of this police officer, if you will, former police officer, in the angle that he's applying this control technique, y'all, I'm struggling to see how a person's ability to breathe would be compromised to a point of becoming deceased. Y'all, something's not right about this, where a person would willingly let a person videotape them as, let's say that this is an execution. He's gonna let witnesses broadcast him executing this person. He's gonna, and y'all, he's surrounded by armed police officers. And strangely enough, the guy doesn't feel safe to get off the guy's neck until the ambulance shows up. Y'all, I have, I've worked as a bouncer. I remember one night, y'all, and I could see this coming. I could see the beef taking place, and we moved it. We moved it outside, and and hopefully, hoping it would disperse from there. And I remember the characters. And I remember one of them because this guy came, when things got heated, long story short, I'll try, this one of them did have to be, taken down. And in the process, I was irresponsible about, covering my six. And this guy hit me from the back of the head, hit me from the back. I blacked out. When I came to, I had that person in a chokehold. I remember, being able to turn around and see, and I saw who it was. But when I came to, I had that person in a chokehold. And the reason why I came to, I don't remember anything in between. I just remember, blacking out, and I came to having like this hurt on the back of my head. But I blacked out, and when I came to, I had this person in the grip. Man, I'm serious grip. Thank God I didn't pop his head off. But I came to because I was being pepper sprayed. One of my, colleagues, was like, bro, let him go, right? And I'm like, it's like even the pepper spray wasn't even hurting me. It's just like all I felt was something that was something moist on my face, and it woke me up like water being thrown in my face. And I was probably in the process of killing this person, but I didn't know. I wasn't there. I blacked out, and I came to, and I had this person in a chokehold. And I was getting pepper sprayed to let him go. I say this, y'all, because this was one of my colleagues. This was my friend. Matter of fact, this was a guy that I studied the arts with. And he was pepper spraying me. Why? Because I was doing something wrong, right? I became a liability to the company in doing what I was doing. I didn't mean to. I didn't know. But y'all, he stepped in to save this person's life. This guy that I had, he was a knucklehead. This guy was, but for whatever it was, y'all, he didn't deserve to lose his life over what I was doing, or what he was doing. He didn't deserve to lose his life. He was trying to control the situation. And, but my colleague stepped in. It's like, dude, you have to let him go, right? Wake up, man, snap out of it, let him go. We're just some bouncers, guys. We're just some bouncers. And even among bouncers, man, we're like, hey, man, this is going a little bit too far. So you would think that with these police, you would at least have somebody step in and say, hey, bro, we're good. He's cuffed. We're armed. He's cuffed. I don't think it's going to get much safer than that. And like I said, for some reason, this guy didn't feel safe until the ambulance showed up. The cavalry has arrived, I guess. And so now, but like I said, man, this is why it's so strange. Y'all, when I first saw the footage, I thought the cop, honestly, I thought it was just a mannish looking woman. I didn't even think it was a dude at first. All right, so as the camera zooms in, okay, I guess I can see that that's a guy. This smaller man kneeling on this big man, in the angle that he was in, y'all, unless there was some other respiratory distress going on. I don't know if the guy was having a cardio infarction or what. I don't know. He's talking about, how, aspects of his torso is hurting and whatnot, could be indicative of, him having some, respiratory distress. You can't get air, parts of your body going to start to hurt and whatnot. You can't get blood to those areas. Parts of your body are going to start to hurt. Y'all, and so I can't rule out that maybe the guy was suffocating to death. Y'all, but for this person to do that in plain sight and let this transpire, y'all, there's something deeper going on than that. And like I said, the hold itself looks suspicious in terms of ceasing a person's ability to breathe. I've not seen that before. Hey, and I've dealt, I've worked with some cats, man, that they make it pretty hard to be tapped out. Okay, it's not easy to put these people down, and I'm talking. It takes some significant technique and pressure to be able to do something like that. And for the angle that this person is in, y'all, something doesn't look right about that. And But what does make sense to me, though, is how far Democrats will go to stage something. Y'all, look at the cities burning, y'all. They're all happening in Democrat-run communities. The Democrats who keep these people blind to their evil by constantly promoting prejudice against somebody else. People are just so sold on the fact that police officers could be so evil, that Republicans can be so evil, but they can't process that Democrats could be so evil. Something about this looks very set up to me, y'all. It looks very set up. This person is going to sit there and let this happen. Why? Because Democrats know how triggered, if you will, people would become over a situation like this. Y'all, it's like this was meant to be seen. This was purposeful. Okay? Maybe I reckon it's wishful thinking. I hope that Floyd isn't dead. I noticed they got him into that ambulance pretty quick. It's like, okay, ambulance are here. It's like you could have got off the guy at any time, but the ambulance is here. Okay, let's get this guy. It's like this guy was so quick to pull him up. It's like, okay, let's get him up. And the ambulance driver's like trying to hold his head and say, hey man, like try to follow some procedure here or something, would you? Let's just go ahead and snatch him up, get him in that truck, and let's get him out of here before anybody really figures out what's going on. Okay, it's like when you know something about the Democrats, as we've seen, people seem to come up missing. With Derek Chauvin, who knows what contract might have been made with him? Who knows? I don't know. Okay? This whole thing probably could have been staged where it's like, okay, you're gonna do this for this reason. I don't know if Derek might have been. It's like I said, he was whisked away from the scene rather quickly, or in a worst case scenario, maybe he was a casualty for what the Democrats want to do. And black people, see, before you think, see, the thing is, black people think that I'm some shill for the white man. Man, that's really, really sad. Because if you've been listening to my saying, if you listen at all to what I'm saying, I've been calling out the white man, and who happens to, I'm talking about the white man of the Democrat Party. You can't call out white people in general. Okay? There's good in every group, there's bad in every group. And there's bad white people. And these bad white people, they look to the Democrats to represent them. All right? It's unfortunate that black folks haven't figured this out, after all these years. I got black people coming after me saying, man, all you do is complain about black folks. It's like, you don't hear me calling out the white devil Democrats, do you? Why? Because they're so into your head that they've convinced you that they're one of you. They've assimilated you. They've Stockholmed you. They've got you. And you don't hear me complaining about them. That's unfortunate. I've been warning you about them for years. All right? So you're saying that I'm only talking about the black protesters that are out there. It's like, y'all, if you're coming after me saying that I only talk about the black people who are rioting. You don't talk about the white folks who are rioting. You don't talk about the Hispanics who are rioting. You only talk about the black folks. Well, if you're calling me on that, then that means that you know that this is wrong. You know that the rioting and the looting is wrong, and there's no justification for it. And this is by your own admission. Why? Because you want me to point to the white folks. You want me to point to the white people that are out there rioting. You want me to point to the Hispanic people that are out there rioting. Why? Because you want me to attach an evil to what it is that they're doing. So by your own admission, you know that what's being done now is evil. So, and I'm trying to tell y'all This stuff that you guys are doing is happening in the areas where you give people the power to rule over you. Republicans don't have any influence in your areas. Why do you keep trying to blame this on Republicans? You keep trying to blame Republicans for everything that's happening to you, and Republicans do not have influence in your areas to do good or bad. It's all run by Democrats, but you don't see it. They don't want you to see it. That's why you guys don't see my videos. They've ruled me out. That's why do you think that the Democrat-founded KKK is called the Invisible Empire? You don't see them, and they don't let you see what they don't want you to see, and they'll even hide in plain sight, and it works like magic. So, y'all, there's no limit to what Democrats will do. It's like you think that a police officer can be evil enough to murder somebody, but you don't think that law enforcement can't be evil enough to perpetuate a lie about a Russian collusion, some hoax. You think that they can't make this hoax? You think they can murder somebody, but you don't think that they can't deceive people too? The FBI brought in to make up this whole hoax. These lawmakers. That's illogical. It's totally illogical. And what we're seeing out there that's going on in these streets, y'all, man, it ain't got nothing to do with Floyd. These people, it ain't got nothing to do with Floyd. It ain't got nothing to do with Trump. It ain't got nothing to do with Republicans. It's all got everything to do with being poisoned with pride. That's all this is, man. What do you see out there in the street? See, and y'all, I'm so sick. I'm so sick of people assuming to be, who just throw this pride word around. I'm tired of people being proud of this. I'm sorry if you take it as an insult to your kids. I'm sick of hearing people talk about how proud they are of their kids. I'm so proud of my kids graduating. I'm sick of your pride. I'm sick of pride. Pride is poison. When are people going to figure that out? When you see these people out there in the streets doing what they're doing, you know what all that is? It's all pride. That's all it is. We want to make America, we're proud to be Americans. That's all we're ever taught, man. School pride from the beginning. Why do you think that is, y'all? Why do you think that is? Because pride goes before destruction, y'all. And you're setting yourselves up for destruction. When you talk about your kids and how you're so proud they're going to graduate, you're setting them up for destruction too. These people out there who are destroying things are destroying in the name of pride. Oh, if we could only be a grateful nation. Why can't we make America grateful again? Why can't y'all learn to be grateful people, man? Everybody justifies their pride. Everybody is suckered into thinking that pride is a good thing. It's not. It's not. It's the first sin, y'all. It's the sin that brought death into the world. But people don't understand that. They refuse to understand that. Everybody, it's like a drug addict. It's like an alcoholic. They all think that they can control it. Pride is a drug too. Your weed smoking, your drug use, your alcoholism. People want to use these things that get them out of control. Why? Because in their pride, they think they can control it. They think they can handle it. I can handle my high. I can handle my drinking. I can handle this. Don't be a panty waste. I ain't no panty waste. I can handle it. Control. What does that come from? It comes from pride. Pride itself is a drug. Pride is a hell of a drug, right? And that's what all these people are gripped with. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a prestigious member of society. You go down the road of pride, it'll lead to destruction. We don't have grateful people, man. At least we're in very short supply. Forgive me, I don't want to broad brush like that. Gratitude is something that's in very short supply. Pride is in full abundance, man. And that's what all this stuff is. That's what's burning these cities down. The destruction that comes from pride. People don't want to, but I know, but you're justified in yours. Even you who you're watching, and I know I have some people watching right now who's justifying their pride to themselves, whatever they're proud of their accomplishments, proud of their children, proud of their marriage, proud of their parents, and all that sort of stuff. Pride sucks, y'all. Literally, it's a parasite. It sucks reasonability out of things. And, you know, and that's what that's what they're gripped with, you know. If only, you know, we could get back to being just grateful. See, people have gotten away. People are too haughty. They're too prideful. They think they can solve all this stuff on their own. That's the thing. That's what all this stuff is. People thinking that they can solve this stuff on their own, and this is what they resort to. This catharsis that comes out. Like I said, it ain't got nothing to do with Trump or Floyd or anybody. It's all pride. Pride of doing things like puffing single women up. A lot of these people out there, they're raised by single women, single embittered women who poison their kids for the resentment that they have for the chump that they had the kid with. Right, but we puff up these single women that they're supposed to be proud that they can raise a kid on their own. These people are out there are totally confused, busted up, and whatnot, emotional wrecks, because we promote the pride of being a single mom. And these people are totally confused. Their fathers, these people are out there complaining about the white man. The first man to do them dirty is their own black fathers who ran out on them. I've been saying this for years. You know, I ain't judging. I'm just calling it like it is. You know, these black men who talk about how much they love their black queens and just do them so dirty. You know, and these young men and these young women, that's the example that they see. And then they go out into the culture and they listen to music that poisons them, fantasizes about and glorifies about drug use. And being so rebellious and doing this and doing that. That's what they're constantly inundated with this liberal narrative. Liberals make bank off of this, influencing people to be rebels. And I get so sick of Republicans calling these people radicals. They're not radicals because they're not rooted in anything. Conservatives are like their own worst enemies because they give these people the fodder to think that the parties have switched sides. And that's why they don't trust you, Republicans. You give them everything that they need. You keep calling them radicals. It's like Republicans forgot who they are. The Republican Party was founded to be radical. We were founded as radicals because we're rooted in something. Rooted, grounded, stable in the Constitution. The Democrats who established the Confederacy were rebels against the Constitution. They were rebels then, they're rebels now. And conservatives keep trying to call these people and give them the fodder to think that the parties have switched, the ideologies have switched. Republicans do it to themselves. You know? Keep calling them radicals. There's nothing radical about what you see is a bunch of rebels. That's what you see out there in the street. And they keep saying this leftist idea, this radical leftist idea. Radical leftism didn't lead to this because there's nothing radical about leftism. This is all rebellion. When are you guys going to get that? Why don't you stop helping the left do what they do? You know, maybe I should just join the party, join the herd out there and say that they're all just the same. They're all in it together, man. You give them plenty enough reason to believe that because you give them the language to do it. You know, you give them the language also with pride. Republicans are so proud to be I'm proud to be in America. I'm so sick of that song, man. So sick of that song. You know, proud to be an American. Why not grateful, man? You should be thanking God that you live here. You know, it's a God-given nation, man, but we don't thank it. We say God bless America and stuff like that. As my buddy Joe Messina says, he says, man, how about America bless God? Why don't we be a blessing to God? Instead of always looking for God to bless us, why don't we try to bless him some? You know, what? Do you think he don't need it? You know, the word says he's got a heart too. He's got compassion too. I mean, sure, man. It's like, you know, it's not like, you know, he doesn't, it's like, you know, he doesn't need us. And that's what's so great about him. He doesn't need us. But we're here anyway, by his grace. You know, no, maybe he doesn't need our, let me dial that back. You know, maybe he doesn't need us. But even for people who don't need something, maybe you didn't need something. Ain't it nice though anyway? Doesn't it kind of do your heart good that somebody even blessed you with something that, you know, maybe you didn't even ask, you know, you obviously didn't need. Sometimes it's the thought that counts, you know? And we just want God to bless us. That's all we want. You got these ear-tickling Christians out there, you know, wanting God to pour out blessings on them and stuff like that, instead of thanking God for the strength, to survive another day. We don't do enough of that. Just waiting for God to do something for us. Do something for me, God. You want God to answer to you. You're not so quick to answer to him, though. And this is the kind of stuff that gets us into trouble. These inner cities, they got churches on like practically every corner. They got as many churches as they do Starbucks. How is it that their communities ain't getting it? Because they're being taught a false doctrine. They're being taught from an idol they call Jesus. An idol that they've shaped to fit what satisfies them, rather than loving Jesus for who he says he is. And Jesus wouldn't be going for any of this. Jesus wouldn't be going for any of this stuff that you people think that you're entitled to. This hippie, socialist, collectivist Christ that you've been suckered to believe by cherry picking scripture. Jesus ain't about any of this stuff. Some all accepting Jesus. You hadn't read his word. You haven't looked at who he is. You've been suckered, and it leads to cities burning. It's people out there who go to church on Sunday. Come Monday, they act like a bunch of heathens. Saturday night, heathens. Sunday morning, oh, look at me, I'm in church. Fake. A bunch of posers, man. And this is what this stuff leads to. And more of these people are taught to believe that not their Christianity is fake, but Christianity itself is fake, that God is fake. Rule out God and embrace science. These people who tell you to embrace science, yet they can't even get biology straight. Operative word here being straight, is they've totally made everything crooked, and being straight is somehow this cis Christian whatever male perversion that they try to put on it. They can't even get the biology straight while trying to lecture us about science. 37 different genders or whatnot. A man can switch to a woman, or a woman can switch to a man. It's like, wow, that's interesting. So you guys can be trans. It's like, do you listen to these people? You people who vote for these Democrats, you liberal drones, do you listen to them? These people out there who are telling you that a man can switch to a woman. A man can switch to a woman, or a woman can switch to a man. But a gay person will tell you that they can't change who they are because they were born that way. Think about that for a second. Black folks, they use you for this. Black folks who are out there rioting in the streets, the Democrats, the white devil Democrats, have been using you since the 1800s to help destroy this republic. You've been suckered, man. You've been hoodwinked. You've been bamboozled, run amok. You name it. They got you. And they got you out there burning your communities. They got you doing it. They got you killing yourselves off. They've been having you do it. This is all fulfillment of the Negro Project, y'all. Democrats in on it. Liberals, right? They got you in on it. Yeah, there's evil to go around. Sure, we could say that there's evil Republicans in on it too. The difference is what the principles are, right? See, it's inherent for Democrats to actually be this because this is who they are. You may have some Republicans in on it too, but that's not what it is to be a Republican. Okay, just think of it as like going into a restaurant. This restaurant serves sushi. This restaurant serves pizza. Okay, this restaurant just serves sushi. You might have a restaurant that might want to deviate from their menu and do something different. But at its core, it's a pizza parlor. It's the same thing with the Republican Party. At its core, this is what we are. Unfortunately, we've got deviants. Heaven had a deviant, y'all. Satan was a deviant. Even in heaven, God still allows the choice. It's like, what you want to do, man? You've got truth here before you. You've got perfect paradise. It's perfect here. But Satan, in his pride, still figured, you know what? Nah, I don't want to see you as the truth. I'm in denial about your truth, and my pride assumes that I can go north of you. So even in heaven, y'all, even with the angels, you could have a deviant. And in the pride of Satan, he led the charge for that. So there will be deviants in the Republican Party, in police force, in the military, anywhere. Places that even were meant for decency.
and for righteousness. Yeah, deviance can happen.
But then there's institutions that are just inherently
deviant and rebellious against righteousness. That's where the Democrats come in. They have always been rebels
against this republic, y'all.
They have always hated
the Constitution.
That's why they went to war with it under their own Constitution. So, but, you know, I don't want to, y'all,
just looking at it again, just to close,
something doesn't look right about, you know, and I hope,
I hope people don't try this, you know, now that I've said that, and just, you know, well, the whole thing is people probably not going to try it for themselves. You know, you're probably going to see some challenge videos out there, seeing people like leaning on people's, you know, necks. I mean, I remember we used to do that in school, man. Remember, you know, the dumb thing we used to do where we press up against each other's chest or hold each other's throat and make each other pass out, and you'd have these crazy dreams, right? You know, I'm not telling anybody that they don't know. That's something that they don't know. And people are going to, you know, do things. And, you know, if you do a challenge video on this, you didn't get it from me. All right. But, you know, y'all, I don't see it. I don't see that being the factor that would bring upon you know, somebody passing from this. Maybe it was another issue, regardless of which, you know, the guy should have gotten off his neck. This shouldn't have happened at all. The guy should have got off him. But that's why I'm saying, y'all, I think there's something very
fishy about this. Like this was meant to be seen. This was pre-planned to be seen, to get this effect, because Democrats will stoop
that low. Remember, y'all, we've had a civil war. Why? Because Democrats wanted to keep their grip on black folks, and they wanted to change this country. That's been their motive for this. Barack Obama, we're going to fundamentally transform America. That's what Democrats have always been trying to do, is change America. And they want to use black folks to do it, and you're letting them do it.
Okay? The Democrats, they've taken us to war before.
You don't see them doing it right now? They're trying to lead us into a war.
The Democrats are not
done with their war against Republicans. The Civil War wasn't just about North against South. It wasn't about Northern aggression. It was about Democrats. It's in their Constitution, y'all. Because we got even knucklehead Republicans out there. The war wasn't about slavery. Please get out of our camp. Look at the Democrat Confederate Constitution. Yes, the war was about slavery. That's what they made their Constitution for. Read it. They wanted the liberty in clear language to enslave the Negro. And that Constitution, with that Constitution, they went to war against the U.S. Constitution.
And they're using their leanings on black folks
again to this day. It's unfortunate that even Republicans don't even see this.
And Republicans are oftentimes their own worst enemy in this. You know, yeah, I'm Republican. I'm conservative. I'm not a very popular one, you know, because I'm one of those Christian Republicans. You know, a lot of Republicans out there right now, they think they're too sophisticated for God. You know, they're conservatives before they're Christians, right? Matter of fact, they want to see themselves
as the classical liberals, right? The classical liberal Republican. It's all bogus, man. You know,
trying to make a distinction between being a classical liberal and a liberal
is like saying there's some huge distinction
between socialism and communism. It's going to lead to the same place, right? Classical liberalism is a joke. You know, even Malcolm X said Malcolm X said a Dixiecrat is nothing but a Democrat. They're the same. You're trying to pull some hoodwinking stuff on it. Classical liberalism. Y'all, the first classical liberal is the devil himself. Think about it. You conservatives who claim to be Christians, get into your Bible and you'll see it plainly. But no, you see the writings of like de Tocqueville or Montesquieu. Forgive me if I'm getting the names wrong. That's your gospel. These words of fallible men,
You stack those up and give those precedents over the eternal word of God. And God tells you what a classical liberal looks like. It's the devil.
Right? Who so in his
Classical liberalism couldn't even see the liberty
liberty of God didn't know liberty when it was
standing right in front of him.
didn't even see it because he's such a classical liberal.
That he wanted to define liberty on his own terms. He wanted to take liberties with liberty.
And that's what classical
Liberalism does. How do you even define classical liberalism and then stick to it? What standard do you go by to build it on? There is none. At the end of the day, liberalism, classical liberalism, is going to even take liberties
was something that
it thinks that it can't be policy for it to have. You can't define classical liberalism. You can't.
right? But that's a lot of Republicans,
Y'all, the socially liberal, classic or fiscally conservative, it's a joke, man.
It's a joke. They don't really even have a standard.
They don't have a fixed and immovable standard. They may say that
They're Christians, but at the end of the day, they don't even believe what the whole Bible says. They'll try to define what
sin is on their own terms, rather than consulting with the Holy Spirit about it and
the God-breathed word. Now they're too intellectual
for that. They think they can define it on their own.
So
All that stuff is what? It's pride. It's all rooted in pride. And because
I can see stuff like
that, I'm grateful
to see stuff like that, it costs me. You know, I don't have a table with these
people anymore.
Because at the end of the day, they'll end up just like liberals. Because at heart, that's really what they are. So, but, you know,
I know a lot of Republicans and conservatives love them because, they,
and that's good because, I mean,
nobody's perfect, man. It's like, I'm glad that we have these people speaking, and
stuff like that and challenging the liberal narrative. But to think that there's like, a distinction at the end of the day, no, it'll all come back to the same thing. Thinking that they can define liberty on their own terms.
Because liberty is their idol, and an idol can be shaped.
The author of liberty
isn't who they
worship. Liberty itself is who they worship. Liberty is their idol. And when you take when you
have idolatry, you end up with chaos. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for listening. Once again, the Lord's shalom to
this situation. We're being hoodwinked, and it's unfortunate that people don't see that the Democrats are the culprits. They are of their father, the devil, and the sins of their father they will do.